At this time, I call to order regular governing board meeting. Pledge allegiance will be led by Abel Flores.
Good evening. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Governing Board President, Ms. Maria Guzman.
Present.
Governing Board Clerk, Ms. Maria Hernandez.
Present.
Governing Board Member, Ms. Patricia Jimenez.
Here.
Governing Board Member, Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz.
Present.
And Governing Board Member, Mr. Harry Gerwal.
Thank you. Next item is approval of August 29, 2024 regular governing board meeting agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item is approval of minutes of August 15, 2024 regular governing board meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Madam President,
Mr. Gerwell?
I'd like to amend the minutes. I went through and I looked at one of the,
They can't hear you.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I'd like to amend the minutes. I went through on some of the pieces that we had in there, and especially the ones that, the ones that I put in there. They're very minor. It's just more like grammar and, punctuations and what have you, because I don't know if the minutes get taken down by a software. I don't know if that's, but anyways, I went through it. And they're very, very minor corrections, and didn't change the content at all. And I've got a copy here for us, so.
Is there a motion to amend
Is there a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved.
minutes?
It's a minute.
Oh, sorry, the minutes. Sorry. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call for the vote.
So you do this, can't do it on the computer, right? You have to roll.
I'll do that.
Okay. Call for the vote?
Governing Board President, Ms. Maria Guzman.
No.
Governing Board Clerk, Ms. Maria Hernandez.
Yes.
Governing Board Member, Ms. Patricia Jimenez.
No.
Governing Board Member, Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz.
No.
Governing Board Member, Mr. Harry Gerwal.
Yes.
Madam President, with that, the motion fails.
Okay. So now.
So now they're going back. You had a first and second already, so now you call for the vote.
Okay, so now I call for a vote to accept the approval of the August 15, 2024 regular governing board meeting minutes. Is there, the motion, right?
Motion.
So call for the vote?
You already have first and second.
Yeah, okay. Motion carries. Next item is reports. Governing board report, Ms. Jimenez.
Good evening. Buenas tardes a todos. De nuevo, felicidades a todos los maestros, todos los padres de familia. Es nuestra quinta semana, sí, ¿verdad? Quinta semana que regresamos a la escuela. Son la primera escuela que vamos a venir aquí a hacer las juntas. Estoy muy emocionada de ver todo lo que van a hacer los estudiantes y gracias por apoyar a sus estudiantes y obviamente gracias a la directora y a su personal por tenernos aquí. Good evening, everyone. Once again, we're excited to be here. Your fifth week into school. Hope everything's going great. I'm excited to continue going and visiting our schools and seeing what each school is doing and with the parents. It's always very exciting to see the parents get involved in their children's education. I was at a conference today and, I'm trying to get more involved and bring more things to our community. And today I was at the League for Annual Conference, which is all public officials. And this is a great way to connect with public officials and community leaders, networking and collaborating on ways that we could improve our cities. So that's something that I'm working on to bring more programs into our district to help our students and to help our community. So I look forward of always collaborating and connecting with great colleagues of mine that were able to come. I met Kimberly Yee, and she's excited. She's the state treasury. She's excited, and she wants to come to our district. So, Miss Dr. Ventura will give you that information. So she wants to come and work with our kids and do essay contests. So I know with our student advisory that we have with our students, that's going to be great. So I'm just super excited about just kind of networking and bringing great things to our community. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Next is me. I just want to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you for coming. Also, I wanted to let you know that I had the pleasure of visiting Pueblo del Sol with Dr. Ventura this past week. Got into some classes and saw the teachers in action, saw the students, doing activities and involved. This is just a reminder, how it impacts what the board brings to the students, the programs and stuff. They enjoy what they're doing here at the schools. So I look forward to visiting more sites and seeing the great things that our students are accomplishing at the other schools too. Thank you. Next is Mr. Santa Cruz.
I just want to welcome everybody. Unfortunately, I have a little injury and I couldn't attend, but hopefully I should attend next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gerwell.
Yes, Madam President. First of all, I'd like to just welcome everybody and hope that you all are having a great day. I know today was Data Day, so I really wanted to express my appreciation for the students that are here this evening for the event, because I know the vast majority of their colleagues are all home right now, so I'd really like to acknowledge the fact that they're here this evening, and also the parents that brought them back. Just a couple of items, actually just one item I want to bring up. So today there was an announcement that came out about in regards to the Arizona Education Foundations named their 5 finalists for Teachers of the Year. And the reason I think this is important is that we've had teachers here that have been nominated and been finalists as well. And so as I was going through the names here, it struck me. So I thought it would be appropriate for me to come and share with you those 5. The first one is Tori Anderson, and she's actually from Carl Hayden High School. So, somebody within our own community that is now recognized as a finalist for Teacher of the Year. And if you remember, the Teacher of the Year then goes on and goes towards the State Teacher of the Year, and then goes on to the National Teachers of the Year. So I thought it was very rewarding for us to see some of them. The other thing is that there's actually 2 of them in here that are from Deer Valley. So I thought that was a little bit, but I'm not a judge, so I think you just want to try to spread the wealth a little bit, right? And then the other one was from Page. So we do get representation from throughout the state, which I think is very important for us to be able to acknowledge teachers that are doing the good work in their schools, and so I just wanted to share that with you. But also, for anybody that's interested, the tickets are on sale if you want to go attend the Teacher of the Year Awards. If you've never been to one, I would highly recommend it. I've gone to several of them, and it's really a great opportunity to go and meet with some of our colleagues around the state, but also to recognize teachers, for what they're doing. So with that, Madam President, that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Ms. Hernandez.
Good afternoon, good evening, early evening. Pueblo del Sol, it feels good to see the backbone still here in the school. This is my original school that I started working as a parent educator many years ago. And it feels very good to feel the positive and the powerful environment that I see here and the good leadership that is going on here. It's a good thing to see the parents here still attending, knowing that today was a day their children did not go to school and they're still here in support of everybody this evening here at Pueblo del Sol. Also to see the great teachers that are still here that I can recognize, the office staff. Um, Keep up the good work and continue moving forward. This heat's got to give up sooner or later. Mornings and late nights are starting to give in a little bit, but the days are still a struggle. But continue working with our students and bringing out these powerful scholars that we have in our community. And have a good rest of your evening. That concludes mine, Ms. President.
Thank you. Next item is superintendent update, Dr. Ventura.
Madam President, members of the board and Pueblo del Sol community, it's a great honor to be here with you this evening. And again, echoing what was said earlier by Ms. Hernandez, it's always a pleasure to be here at Pueblo del Sol and seeing the teachers that have been here just as long or longer than I have, and all the new teachers that have joined this amazing campus that do such great things for our students. I've been on your campus quite a bit so far this year, and just seeing all the magic happening in the classrooms and how much you go out of your way to embrace our students and make sure everyone is feeling safe emotionally and creating a sense of belonging with all our students. So thank you for all that you do, teachers and administration here at Pueblo del Sol. Last week, we began our iReady diagnostic testing. It's something that we do every year so we can have a benchmark. We can see where our students are beginning and how much they're going to grow and reach great levels of learning throughout the year. So I want to thank everyone for being a part of that. At some of our schools, we had the iReady mascot visit, and that's there to he's there to encourage. Plory is there to encourage the students to do their very best, because the better data that we have at this beginning of the benchmark, we can better use that diagnostic data to provide differentiated instruction and put kids in groups and give them the type of learning that they need for their specific needs. So again, thank you, teachers, for making sure that you created a great testing environment for the students. And thank you, students, for doing your best. Also, I'd like to share that today was Data Day, as mentioned earlier, and today was the first of the year. We do this several times, but this is a great time for staff to get together and start diving into the data, working collaboratively to address learning challenges that we may have and work to create a plan for improvement. So I want to thank everyone that worked on this and setting goals for improvement, because our kids deserve the very best, and I know that you want to provide that for them. I hope everyone has a wonderful 3-day weekend uh, beginning Saturday, and enjoy your Labor Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is new business information discussion action item. Item A is Pueblo del Sol K-8 Elementary School highlight. Ms. Griselda Cohen, principal at Pueblo del Sol K-8 Elementary School. Ms. Cohen?
Good evening, Madam President, Isaac School Board members, Dr. Ventura, and Pueblo del Sol community. I am Griselda Cohen, the proud principal of Pueblo del Sol Elementary School, and I am excited to present the many amazing things that are underway here at Pueblo. I want to start off by shouting out some very important people in the room. And I'm going to get started with some teachers who worked very, very hard today for Data Day. And although our students were not here, they had their students in mind. We did many activities such as we are not just a number, we have a name, we all have our unique characteristics. And so I'm very proud of our teachers. Teachers, if you're here, and staff, will you please stand so we can celebrate you? And we have some teachers behind the scenes who are doubling as mascots tonight. So we definitely see them back there as well. Next up, our parents. Today was Data Day, and it was a day where families were enjoying the day with their students, and teachers were working hard preparing for our students. But we recognize that it was a sacrifice to be here tonight, but we know you want to support your students and your school. Muchas gracias a los papás que asistieron ahora y que hicieron posible esta noche trayendo a sus niños. Parents, will you please stand to be recognized? Papás, ¿sí se pueden poner de pie? And for all of our mamas who helped decorate, who helped make our school beautiful, and help plan this event, will you please stand up and raise your hand? Las mamás que asistieron para que el día de ahora fuera posible, por favor, pónganse de pie y alcen la mano. They volunteer so many hours of their time, and so they were able to enjoy a small dinner as well. As we recognize you all with a small dinner, we wanted to make sure that they had a dinner as well, and were involved with the teachers. Up next, our students. Can our students please stand up tall and proud? And those are first graders back there, so I'm very impressed. They're doing really well. And then last but not least, I would like to recognize my fellow administrators, Mr. Flores and Ms. DeVore. Please stand. Our school thanks you for serving our students and community each and every day. Thank you. All right, in honor of Data Day, we're going to start digging into some data here. So these are all of our scores from our assessments this past spring. So last school year, these are the culminating scores for our students' growth. This data illustrates the English language arts proficiency results as assessed by the AASA for grades 3 through 8. The data compares the percentage of students who are proficient at Pueblo, in our district, and in Arizona. If you look at the data, grades 5, 7, and 8 superseded the district average, with 5th grade superseding the state average. Although we are proud of the gains, we are collaborating as a community to identify areas for improvement. For example, this school year, we have implemented schedules that prioritize academic interventions and language development across all grade levels. And it was very powerful to see during Data Day today that our teachers are hungry for our kids to reach the levels that other students in our state are achieving, because we feel that they have everything that they need to be just as successful, if not more. So thank you for everyone for your commitment to saying this is great, but not enough. For AASA mathematics, you can see here for grades 3 through 8, in grades 3 and 5, our students performed above the district average, and the same is true for all middle school grade levels. While our students are making gains, again, we know we need to have a higher commitment to individual student needs. And this was very exciting data to look at today. Teachers got to see how we compared to the state in Azela. 13% of our English language learners reclassified to proficient with an overall growth measurement of 0.53. This is competitive with the measure for Arizona. Thank you to our dedicated SEI teachers for their continued support of our students. Today, during Data Day, all staff committed to prioritizing language development across all contents and all grade levels. We are all teachers and models of language. And I would like to tell our parents too, thank you, because you also are teachers of language, whether it be your language at home or you support the development of English, but thank you because you are teachers as well. And like Dr. Ventura mentioned earlier today, iReady is our diagnostic for our district. In the 2023-24 school year, Pueblo's school-wide proficiency in reading increased from 14 to 34%. In math, proficiency increased from 8 to 30%. We are excited to see what our proficiency levels will be at the end of this school year. Our students' iReady goals will be a commitment for students, teachers, and parents as we engage in frequent data chats throughout the year. So we look forward to our first data chats with parents during our conferences in October. Our Isaac Learning Club and 21st Century programs are highly appreciated by our students and families. This school year, students who wish to participate in enrichment classes will also be signing up for academic classes to ensure a well-balanced after-school experience. We appreciate our teachers who extend their day to make this hard work happen and help our students close their learning gaps. And thank you, district leaders, for ensuring the sustainability of these programs. Here we have a picture of a meeting last year. This is a exploratory session with parents where we're collecting input from them, and we had a special visit from Dr. Tanya Whiteford, who came to ask some of our mamas about what they wanted to see in teachers at the school and what they wanted for their students. This is one of the examples of how we work alongside parents and focus on increasing engagement with academics. We look forward to our upcoming curriculum night, where parents can learn about the grade level skills their children are expected to master this school year. We hope to see many more parents engaged and collaborating within our school. And for a site council update, our Pueblo families have been hard at work sharing their valuable ideas. In recent collaborative activities, parents shared ways they will commit to supporting student attendance and iReady growth. If you look at this graphic here, you can see that academic success is broken down in two goals, one for attendance and one for iReady. And this is a commitment across all stakeholders, teachers, staff, leaders, parents, and students all play a part in attendance. And we realize that we all play a part in the achievement in iReady as well. Raise your hand if you have a Chromebook at home. Alcen la mano si tienen una computadora en casa para sus niños. Okay. Not a lot of kids here tonight, but thank you so much. We know that we have kids working hard at home on iReady already. And for our parents, thank you so much for being role models in our community. And we're excited that you are sharing your voice and advocating for the well-being of students. And to our board, I know that many of you have been parents here in the district, so I'm excited to see our parents grow into bigger roles as well. All right. This next one is our continuous improvement plan. So I'll let you take a look at it for a minute. This is a cycle of continuous support in our district for all stakeholders, from leaders to our instructional leadership team, teachers, parents, and students. We support up and we support sideways, down, all around. This is our commitment to inclusive practices on our campus. Our community is rich with diversity and opportunities to learn from and support one another. Through our school improvement initiatives, all stakeholders have the urgency and responsibility to put student academic growth at the forefront of our daily actions. The outcome of this school-wide commitment is for all stakeholders to create an inclusive environment that supports students in accessing the academic content in all environments. All right, and at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Abel Flores up with me because we are going to recognize some very, very fantastic staff that we have here at Pueblo del Sol.
Good evening. Tonight, we'd like to recognize a lady who's been here for quite some years now and also has done countless jobs. She's seen putting up flags, taking out trash, taking care of our young ones in the cafeteria. She's all over the place, and I'm so thankful that we have her. And tonight, we would like to honor Miss Reina Hidalgo. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hidalgo, for everything. Our next staff member that we would like to recognize, also been here for a number of years, has been a friend of mine since I started the district. We've coached together and now I work with her here at Pueblo and she's been nothing but a blessing and a help. And that is Miss Marta Moreno.
All right, and I'm giving some showtime to Miss DeVore because she's going to help me recognize our certified staff.
Good, thank you. Our first certified staff, Ms. Krizia Tillinghast. Ms. Tillinghast comes to school every day with a positivity that is truly unbelievable. It doesn't matter what happens the day before. She greets each student with a smile and with utter patience. And I'm just so proud of you. I've seen you grow as a teacher, and I've seen you grow as a leader on our campus. So congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Tillinghast. All right, our next teacher, Miss Alexia Wojciechowski. Miss Wojciechowski this year is a math teacher, but she's been a STEAM teacher and a science teacher as well. And every single year she shows up ready to support our students. She is so willing to be there for them, no matter if it's coaching, if it's after school, and even if it has to be for a disciplinary reason. But she's always there and she wants the best for each and every one of our students. I am so proud to see the leader that she has also become. And she's also really good at being a part of our safety committee. Thank you, Ms. Wojciechowski.
And we know that in the coming months, we have many more staff members to celebrate. And thank you all for being here to make this moment special for them. All right, I can hear our students getting ready back there. They're getting ready to perform. All right, so we're going to present to you tonight 2 songs by first grade and then a middle school dance performance as well. So I invite the governing board members to come have a seat at the front. And at this time, this concludes Pueblo del Sol's presentation. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Is there any question from the board?
Not any questions, just a comment, President. Just want to say very well done. Continue the good work.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Nope. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is approval to award the contract for 2024 RFP 019 to Southwest Food Service Excellence LLC SFE pending ADE approval. Ms. Ling Lang, Chief Financial Officer. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Lang?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the governing board, Dr. Ventura and Isaac community. I'm going to respectfully defer to Mr. Morales to provide you information regarding this item.
Thank you.
Madam President, members of the board, good evening. Can you hear me?
Can't hear.
Can you hear? No?
Just get it close.
Hello?
Just get it closer.
Madam President? Hello? There you go. Okay. Madam President, members of the board, tonight we bring before you the recommendation for approval for our food service management company. The award is a contract for the 24 RFP 019 to Southwest Food Service Excellence. This award is pending ADE approval. We had a committee of 6 members evaluate the food service contract based on using the Arizona Department of Education's metrics. Some of the areas, the 3 methods areas that we evaluated on was the method of approach and implementation. That was something we looked closely at, which we saw was FSC was the menu was something that we really saw that they had quite a bit of entrees and stuff that we were looking for. There was also culturally relevance to what we were looking for in the district. The other approach was the experience and expertise. One thing that stood out there from the 2 vendors, because one of the vendors was removed, was the experience in a number of counts that Southwest leadership had within the Arizona. I think there was 35 accounts. They've also expanded about 40 additional accounts across the country as well. So they've gotten a good reputation. They didn't have any contracts that were removed or revoked as well. And the third, of course, was the price. Probably one of the things that stood out there was the realistic approach as far as the reimbursements back to the district that we looked at as well. You also have a summary of the scorecard on there for you to review. Like I said, one of the vendors was removed from the thing because there were some missing items. Again, our Madam President and members of the board, it's the recommendation of the committee to recommend the food service contract to Southwest Leadership SFE.
Thank you. Is there any question from the board?
Madam President?
Mr. Galwell?
Yeah, just an observation, because I think this is important, because of the 3 metrics that you were using, right? And the last one was really the price point. And there is a difference between the 2 prices, right?
Correct.
But also, I thought I heard you say, there's more quality that's coming in and consistency, right? So those are some of the other
Well,
metrics.
yeah, when you take a look at the proposal, you not only look at the cost, but you also take a look at what's the amount of money that's being spent on food compared. So you could see the difference in the food and the type of food that was being purchased and being served. So that makes a big difference as well. Also, the reimbursements also affect the cost, versus, and there was a big discrepancy on that. I think there was about $500,000 with the FSC and then about 100,000 that was guaranteed from K-12. The Chartwell's again was thrown out because it was missing some items, but there was a lot higher as well. So instead of just looking at that dollar amount as far as corporate price, you need to take a look at the overall plan itself. So.
I think that's excellent, because I know in past, it was always about the price point, right? Everybody always looked at the price point, but the quality wasn't there, the consistency wasn't there. So I'm glad that, we've gone through these different metrics in order to identify the best qualified especially for this particular item. I mean, food services is really important. Yeah, so thank you.
Madam President, member of the board, we also have us with us tonight here from FSC, Andres Montoya. If you have any questions or you like to make any comments, he is available.
Is
With
there
that-
any other question from the board?
Madam President,
Ms. Jimenez?
Mr. Andres, I do have a question if you want to come.
Hello.
I know that you work with other districts in the past here in Arizona, correct? And you are local here in Arizona?
Yes. Yes, we work with 40 districts in Arizona alone and 200 across the country, and we are headquartered less than 15 minutes away from here.
Well, I know that one of our our parents' concerns, and I know especially the with the food, and I know we know like Mr. Garrett said, you mentioned, I know the quality, and that's what we're looking for. I truly believe that our community and our students deserve the best. So I'm looking forward of trying and going to the cafeteria and trying the food. And so thank you very much for providing these services for our community.
And thank you very much for trusting us with such a vital part of your district. We promise we won't let you down. We're excited to be a part of the community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question from the board? Call for the vote.
Governing Board Member, Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz, may I please have your verbal vote?
Yeah, I just did it.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is approve of resolution authorization of the insurance and sales of tax anticipation note by the district. Ms. Ling Lang, Chief Financial Officer. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Lang?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the governing board, Dr. Ventura and Isaac Community. This evening, we're requesting governing board approval for the district to sell tax anticipation notes, commonly referred to as TANs, to provide cash flow funding for the district for our operating expenditures for fiscal year 24-25. TANs are a short-term, 1-year debt security paid by our state aid and revenue and our tax revenue. And so we're requesting approval for $8 million to ensure a smooth cash flow throughout the year. This is approximately half of what we requested 2 years ago. And the cost to issue TANs is much less than had we go out to get a line of credit or have the treasurer register warrants for us. We do have our financial consultant in the audience with us this evening, Ms. Erica Combs from Piper Sandler. If you have any additional questions regarding the TAN.
Thank you. Is there any question from the board?
Madam President?
Ms. Garwell?
Yeah, a couple of things. So, first of all, thank you for being here. Yeah. Most of the things that I'm going to ask about today is because oftentimes our audience and our community doesn't really understand, the anticipation notes that we're going to be doing. And I think, Ms. Lang, you just answered my first question. My first question was going to be, what was our previous valuation, right? You said 16 million. Okay, so that's good. And so with that, when the state held back, what was it, $6.3 million, right? Does that help us to go towards the note itself?
Yes, that is what we use to pay off the debt at the end of the year.
Okay, yeah, I think that's really important because I know we're going out for 8 million, but we have to pay back the 6.3 from the year before what was balanced, right?
Well, Mr. Garrett, the notes are paid off in July, correct? And so when we get our 6.2 million plus the additional state aid that we have, we'll use that to pay the note.
Okay.
So it'll be all the same year money.
Okay, so that was the other question I had also with the fact that, you know, we were looking at, because it had to be done by July 1st, right, the issuance? Is that right, of 2020?
It's during this fiscal, so we're in the current fiscal year, and so we're working with your school district as well as two other school districts in the in the Maricopa area. And so we're pulling those tax anticipation notes together, and that's going to help with cost of issuance, which is very minor compared to if you did a bond issue
Sure.
that you've done before. But what we do is look at the cash flows, and knowing that the state aid payments are coming in later and later in the month, we've chosen and worked with the Maricopa County Treasurer to so the date that these will be repaid back would be July 25th, 2025. So
Okay.
it's less than a year period.
Okay, very good. So, you know, it's really important, I think, for us to understand this, right? Because oftentimes it's looked like as a debt that we're taking on, but part of that is just because we don't get the funding from the state in a timely manner.
Yes, it's a cash flow.
Yeah.
So the revenues and the expenditures don't match each other. And so this is a way to make sure that the funds are there when they're needed, and then they're used. And when they're not being used, then the district is getting interest earnings on those funds. So there's a benefit there and helps with the interest cost. So yes, it's just the timing of when the revenues are coming in.
So what's the current rate right now for interest?
So we work with the Maricopa County Treasurer, and so their rate is the 1 year U.S. Treasury plus 50 basis points. So that's 0.5%.
Right.
So the rate is around 5%, and then we add on about 0.5%, and that just covers the cost of issuance by generating some extra funds from that amount. So the actual interest rate that's being proposed is 5.53%. The line of credit, what that rate is prime, and that's over 8%. So this is a lower rate than that, and the rate is set by the county treasurer. Is a very efficient.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I think that was the other thing. I was going to ask you what is its current rate, right? If you went out for a credit card debt, because that's our other option, right? Is to go out.
I mean, so the best way is to do these tax anticipation notes or do a line of credit. The
Right.
line of credit is a more expensive option. So this is the best rate. By having a taxable rate, then there's less like tax compliance per se for the district in the future. So you're able to earn whatever interest rate. So if you're earning 5% on that 5.5% money, you get to keep that difference. So there's a lot of benefits by using the taxable rate. It's also using the county as the purchaser, that's their preferred rate, is to do the 1 year taxable treasury.
Okay, very good. Just a point of clarification, I said credit card, but it's actually a line of credit.
Yes, a line of credit.
I don't want to mislead
Yes.
anybody, so thank you
Yep.
for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I have, Madam President.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is discussion, consideration to sell approximately 2.1 acres of vacant land near northwest corner of 43rd Avenue and Van Buren, West Van Buren, owned by the district. Ms. Ling Lang, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Utuli, and Mr. Ross, representing the investor buyer. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Ms. Lane?
Madam President, members of the governing board, Dr. Ventura and Isaac Community. This evening, we bring an item before you. Um, We were approached by Mr. Ituli and Mr. Cost with the opportunity to purchase a portion of the land that is part of Carl T. Smith School. Because the school has been closed for more than 2 years and we are not using it, we don't have to go through all of the election process like we're having to do with the other building. I believe that you all have a copy of the map of the area they're interested in buying. The Ituli Produce Company backs up to our land on Van Buren, and they're just interested in expanding into that and buying some of our property, primarily for excuse me, parking trucks. They need additional parking space. This evening, we're asking for your authorization for Dr. Ventura and I to begin negotiations with them and to have Mr. Morales work with them to be able to split the lot and then to work with them to get an appraisal for the actual purchase price. Mr. Ituli and Mr. Casa are here in case there's any questions or you'd like any more information.
Thank you. Is there any question from the board?
Madam President,
Ms. Jimenez?
it's not kind of a question, it's a kind of a concern. Who could tell me, I mean, I'm looking at the picture right now. What type of business is that business? Because I'm concerned about safety, even though it's our school, but there's still students there and we're renting it, but it still brings a concern to my attention. What type of business is it?
We're a wholesale produce distribution company. So we sell fruits and vegetables to restaurants, school districts, hospitals, senior care facilities across the state. We are a family-owned and operated business. We've been in business for 45 years this year. Fully understand the need for safety and ensuring that students are safe that are occupying in the building. Our building right there is visible directly to the left, right where it says 2.1 acres. To the left is our building. It is fully gated currently, security systems and security personnel in place. We would continue that should we have the opportunity to purchase the land and ensure that it is all dated appropriately with city codes.
There's no, because I work at Costco and I work in a big distribution center and we expanded it and we always want to make sure whatever's around us, there could be anything like gas or anything that it could leak. And I just want to make sure that's not going to get to the students.
Correct. Yes. I mean, this would only be used for parking our delivery vehicles. And we follow all appropriate city guidelines and needs. We have been in the building itself for 7 years this year, actually 8 years, excuse me. So we understand the needs of the school and the students right there, and we would continue to respect that exact way we do it currently.
And the last question, how tall is the gate?
The current gate that is in place, I believe, is 8 feet tall. It would meet city code requirements. The city does have a certain set of requirements that indicate, like specific guardrail gates, block walls, things like that. So if we were able to enter into discussions with you, we would do due diligence to ensure what city needs are and ensure that that would be a part of the proposal.
Do you see any students now playing in that field? I mean, is there any action with students there?
Not currently. I mean, at times there is, I know that your team had indicated there's some soccer that occasionally plays on one side of the field. Not anything that kind of builds up against our part of the property currently.
And then right here, like the one that's kind of curvy, do the trailers go through that in and out? Through the street, yeah.
At the curve
Yeah.
part up top. No, that's not our building at the curve part. Our building is solely the building to the left, to the west side on where it says 2.1 acres that lines Van Buren.
Okay.
The rest of that part is gated currently and would remain gated in the exact same way that it is.
Madam President, members of the board, that section in yellow is the approximately about the 2 acres. The longest yellow line that runs north and south would be the orientation of the new fence that would go in place. The actual curve there's an actual existing fence that borders the other businesses at the back. So that's what that area entails there. So the new fence would run north and south up against Van Buren. The orientation of the ball field will then rotate north and south as one section right now runs east and west.
And one more question, Dr. Ventura. So in the future, I know that the school we mentioned it's been closed for 2 years, and I know it's right now. I believe we're renting it to a charter school. But in the future, depending enrollment or if we're ever gonna get it back, I mean, do you see? I'm trying to also, as board members, we have to be good stewards and making sure we're making the right decisions. And I'm trying to see in the future if we're ever going to get the school back and have enough enrollment so the school pretty much.
Well,
be
and I
out.
can say that from our perspective, that's something that your team put good focus and care into, and we had these initial conversations so that should you ever want to reoccupy that area, there would still be that space available. That would not be obtrusive to the school or the needs of the school if it were to ever be operated again.
And that would be enough space. Okay, thank you.
Is there any other question from the board?
Yeah, Madam President,
Mr. Gabriel?
Mr. Morales, what's the current zoning for this?
I don't remember what it was. I know we did that a while back and we looked at it, Mr. Gerwell. But I'm sure it's commercial in that section. Even the school was commercial at the time. I don't remember the exact zoning.
Commerce Park.
Commerce Park. Okay. Yeah, because I remember that, this was a land swap, right, years ago, from further up on 43rd Avenue, right over by the freeway. So there was a land swap done because there was other semi-tractors coming in and out of there.
Yeah, correct. And that's one of the ones that we looked maybe about a year ago. We took a look at that actual acreage there and the zoning on that. And that property is actually outside of our district.
Okay.
So it's actually a Cartwright district. I think you're right in that area.
Don't be. So my other question to you directly, sir, is that, how would you be entering the property? Because you're going to be leaving that west fence up, correct? The one that's currently in
The
place?
fence that's currently in place that lines kind of vertically.
Uh-huh.
We would be utilizing an opening through there to be able to enter. That way it's connected to our current building and the current infrastructure we have in place.
Okay, so you wouldn't have an entrance off of Van Buren going in?
Not at this point, unless city required any sort of exit or entry in that capacity. That's not on the plan.
Oh, that's good, because that would be another safety concern, right?
Yeah,
Because
indeed.
children would be going back and forth on the sidewalk there.
Correct.
Okay. And then, Mr. Morales, what's left on that property there, right? How much acreage is that?
I would say we were probably just 2, 4, maybe 6 acres in the ball field area. I can't remember the actual total acreage for the whole site, but it's probably about a 10-acre site, just
Okay.
off the top of my head. Right, so about 10 acres. Yeah.
Okay. Well, part of the reason I was asking, because to your point earlier, Ms. Jimenez, at some point, if the school isn't, going to be brought back online, just like we did over Esperanza, that'd be an ideal spot for, housing, because of where it's located, and that would not impact at all if it's commercial, right? Because then you could do multifamily housing on there. The only thing is, people in the back would be looking at your trailers.
Yeah.
I think that would be the only downside.
Indeed, yes.
But again, just thinking in advance, what may happen, because there's so much development going on in the area now. And that would still be outside of the district, but the tax revenues would all be coming back to the district, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Madam President,
Ms. Jimenez?
I have a question for Ms. Ling Ling. So depending board approval, what's next?
Ms. Jimenez, the next steps would be, Mr. Morales working with the buyers to look at at splitting the lot and what that would take. And to be able to, because it is all one piece right now, they would have to go and get that split. And then we would also call for, order an appraisal to find out the process. And then we would, begin entering negotiations with the buyer. Prior to any decisions being made, obviously, everything would come back to the board for your approval, final approval.
Thank you.
Any other question from the board? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is first reading of ASBA Policy Advisory PA number 788, 789, 790, 791, 792, 793, 794, 798, 799, and 900. Dr. Mario Ventura, Superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Ventura?
Madam President, members of the board, and Isaac community, as part of being in partnership with the Arizona School Board Association, one of the member services they provide are advisories to revise our policies as laws are enacted in Arizona and federal laws as well, so we can be in compliance. So the following advisories are provided to you as a first reading, and then we'll bring them back for approval. So I'll begin with policy ACA, sexual harassment, policy ACAA, Title IX, sex discrimination, sexual harassment, regulation ACAA-R, Title IX, sex discrimination, sexual harassment, policy GBK, staff grievances, policy JII, staff concerns, complaints, and grievances, policy BBBA, board member qualifications, policy GCF, professional staff hirings, policy GDF, support staff hiring, policy JFB, open enrollment regulation, JFB-R, open enrollment, policy JHD, exclusion exemptions from school attendance, regulations JHD-R, exclusion and exemptions from school attendance, exhibit JHD-EA, exclusion and exemptions from school attendance, exhibit JHD-EB, exclusion and exemption from school attendance. And then finally, regulation JLCD-R, medicines administering medicines to students. Again, this is a first reading for you. Then we'll bring it
Madam
back.
President,
Ms. Jimenez?
just for clarification, it's already an action item, so we have to vote on it. If it would have been a first reading, it would just be information only. So right now, it's a motion, so we're gonna have to vote on it. It won't come back.
We'll have to table it then because it's supposed to be the first reading. So is there a motion? Then you have to ask the motion.
Is there a motion to table the first reading of the ASBA Policy Advisory?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote. Call for the vote.
We'll do this by verbal vote. Governing Board President, Ms. Maria Guzman.
Aye.
Governing Board Clerk, Ms. Maria Hernandez.
Aye.
Governing Board Member, Ms. Patricia Jimenez.
Aye.
Governing Board Member, Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz.
Aye.
And Governing Board Member, Mr. Harry Gerwal.
Aye.
Motion carries. So we will be tabling the first reading. Okay. Thank you. Next item is consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the whole consent?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item is call to the public.
Madam President, at this time, there is no request to address the governing board.
Thank you. Next item is enrollment at 4,914. Calendar is, no school September 2nd, 2024 Labor Day. Next regular governing board meeting will be at 5 p.m. Thursday, September 19th, 2024 at Zito Elementary School located at 4525 West Encanto Boulevard, Phoenix, Arizona 85035. And if there's no objection, meeting adjourned. Thank you.